All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 5-Day Rentals podcast. This is the only podcast currently on the run. And together, we are live from the Char. So if the audio is weird, I don't know, fucking deal with it.
Coming to you live from a Hardee's.
The show is free.
It shouldn't be. It should be fucking charging these assholes.
It can sound as bad as it possibly could, and it would cost you nothing.
It costs us a full listen because they hit stop.
It's an emotional toll.
How long do you have to listen before it logs it as a...
Don't worry about that.
Nobody knows.
Listen to more than half of this episode before you turn it off. Guys, we are live in the Char.
What does that mean?
That's where we are, dude. We're in the Char, USA.
There's more than enough clues to figure that out.
We're here. We're friends. We're together. We did it.
Again.
We're once again covering 3 movies mentioned on this podcast, but never formally covered. I think that's enough. That's enough. We could say that.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess if you've clicked on this episode, you already realized this one is Bordello of Blood. Another Tales from the Crypt presents.
You've covered the whole set.
No.
Well, we haven't done any of the TV shows.
Well, I mean, of the movies.
We've just done the movie. Well, not
more.
really. There's one more, technically.
From Dusk Till Dawn?
That was supposed to be a Tales from the Crypt.
You ask this every time Tales from the Crypts come up.
Do
What?
I?
Yes.
I thought there were only 2.
What's it called?
Ritual.
Ritual.
It's like 2012, maybe?
Yeah.
They finished out the trilogy that they originally planned to do.
Well, I think they planned to do a trilogy. I don't know if any of these movies were like the... Because they were considering making Dusk Till Dawn a Tales from the Crypt.
I thought the one after Demon Night was like the Louisiana, like Mardi Gras or some shit.
I think at the end of Demon Night, there is, like, if you watch through the credits, there's a thing that pops up that's like, make sure to join us next time for, I don't know, Death Down Easy or some shit, you know? Like,
Yeah, I know it was set in Louisiana.
yeah.
Boogie on the Bayou.
Mm-hmm.
Down in some of those parishes.
But that's not what we got. We got Bordello of Blood, which was filmed in Vancouver as the second installment.
This is what the world got. What a bummer.
A movie so bad that it basically killed the film franchise. I know they did. I mean, they did Ritual. I don't think that has the Crypt Keeper in it, though.
Well, that's why I asked you if you had watched it.
No, it's kind of hard to track down.
We could probably get it.
I mean, I think it's DVD only.
No wonder I forget every time.
If it was on Blu-ray, you wouldn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be in my collection.
Yeah, you'd have it. You'd have it already.
Steelbook and all.
It bums me out that you paid money for this.
I don't know. If it's kind of like if I already bought the DVD box set and Demon Night. I mean, at some point, you just kind of gotta buy Bordello of Blood.
Are you that type of guy?
I think it would bother me that I had already gotten the DVD set and Demon Night. Yeah. Because then I would always think, well, there's one more. I just got to buy one more movie to have all the Tales from the Crypt.
Is there any crisis you're dealing with right now? That situation going on at your house? Is there something you're like, I need to get that?
Yeah, that I need to get like one more thing to complete
the cycle.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so, but there's always stuff, popping up that I think, I'd like to own that movie.
It should have been included.
They should have done a 2-pack that was Demon Knight and Bordello of
Yeah.
Blood.
But it's such a piece of shit that if you could prove that you bought the box set and Demon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
They should have sent you like a unaired Tales from the Crypt episode if you bought those two.
I would love that, dude.
Although I will say the making of,
Mm-hmm.
like 20-minute documentary that was on your Plex.
Mm-hmm.
I had more fun watching that. Like that was entertaining and enlightening.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how much of Dan's notes is pulled from that.
I mean, I think it goes like I think there's a good movie in there somewhere, but I think they had a lot of setbacks on Bordello of Blood that forced it into. I definitely think this is worse than Demon Knight.
Demon Knight looks like a 5-star movie compared to this.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, but they had to spend a lot of money on Dennis Leary,
That's not
Miller.
Who that is.
Dennis Miller.
Probably would have been better.
It
with
would
Dennis
have been.
Leary.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they in the behind the scenes thing, they talk about that they originally wanted like one of the minor Baldwins, and it would have been like a fourth of the contract.
Steven? Please be Steven.
I want to say Daniel.
I think it's Daniel.
Fuck. You know I'm a Stephen Baldwin guy.
Is Carpenter's Vampires before or after this?
This is 96.
Because
I
he
wanna
is the
say
one in that one, right?
after.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Vampires is 2000 maybe?
It feels a little late, but that feels like Ghosts of Mars era.
Vampires is 98.
Okay.
This is 96. But Vampires easily, I mean, that could have slotted in as a Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
You chop, 15 minutes out of that story at a Crypt Keeper intro and outro.
Well, Body Bags was his version of that, right? He wasn't in that cool crew.
I think, yeah, Body Bags was like I think they were trying to launch the Showtime version of Tales from the Crypt. And the movie ended up being kind of like the pilot that, I don't think it ever got picked up. It never got past that point.
Yeah.
But they were kind of like, well, we got these 3 episodes. What do we do with them? Or not 3 episodes, 3 segments.
Since we're kind of talking about the inception of this already, like the pre-production, did you watch it at all? That 20-minute documentary you're making of?
No.
And you have seen it?
Yeah.
Or did
I
watch
watched
it? Okay.
for this, yeah.
Bits aside, did you do any research for this?
I mean, I got some stuff, but
Okay. Do you know like the $50,000 or the $500,000 reason that this was made?
no.
Okay. So this was a Bob Gale script. This was like one of the first scripts he and his buddy had written.
For a while.
Him and Zemeckis, right?
Yes.
Didn't Zemeckis have? He
Yeah.
was the other guy.
Yeah,
on
I
the
usually,
script.
for some reason in my head, I have Gale associated as the writer, even though Zemeckis is equally responsible.
Mhm.
So, yeah, if I use those interchangeably, sorry. But Zemeckis, they wanted a deal. They wanted him to sign a picture deal or something at Universal.
They were trying to keep him at Universal. I think like his contract was coming up or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were essentially like, how do we keep you here? And it was by this script that I wrote.
20 years ago. Let's just pull that out of the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
And once you hear that, it immediately clicks of like, oh, this is written by somebody who's between the ages of 17 and 24. Like this is first draft syndrome, if you've ever heard it, which isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes you can just vomit out something, like go with the first impulse. But
I thought I read that they didn't make any changes, really.
I think they tried to, but it was like, we've already paid $500,000 for this, so we have to make it.
Yeah.
And Silver wanted Miller for some reason, and he would do it for so it was already like, this should have been a fraction. Like this movie should have cost a fraction of what it actually cost to make.
Mhm. Well, they also should have just, it's like they got into the sunk cost fallacy. They were
Yeah.
like, we've already spent so much money just to get the script. Like, now we have to make it. And they ended up spending more money to lose more money.
Yeah. And then you go to Vancouver and do a non-union shoot. So
Mhm.
that's less expensive, but you deal with people who are far from experienced,
Right.
even in the level of what Tales from the Crypt was doing production wise on television.
Mm-hmm.
This is well below. They ended up having to bring in one of the guys for a week to do some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And he's kind of shady in the behind the scenes of they really tried.
Mhm.
Like they did not match our concepts at all. But the biggest takeaway was how likable Corey Feldman is despite himself in that behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like you genuinely feel bad for him, even though there's 2 or 3 times where he's up his own ass.
Yeah.
But
He does seem like very, because his whole thing in the behind the scenes is like, come on, man, like it's Tales from the Crypt. Like we all know what we're doing here. Like can we just have a fun time making this movie? And everyone else was like a nightmare to work with. But he does also, like, you kind of root for the guy, but then they cut back to him and he's like, I told Dennis Miller that like I do a lot of secret rewrites in Hollywood on scripts and they don't give me credit, but and then you're kind of like, all right, this guy's kind of
it's exactly that statement. And then the one about like, this is the first movie I had ever been in that didn't open at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, that might explain why he's as fucked up as he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, they're fine. Are both of them still alive?
has nothing to do with those allegations and things. Poor guy.
Lost Boys is good.
Yeah, opened at number 1, dude.
Apparently.
All of his movies opened at number 1, if you believe Corey Feldman.
License to Drive, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Lost Boys 3. Tribal Wars.
Is that
number 1.
that's the one where he comes back?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Okay.
I've never seen 2 either. Might be a box set.
Lost Boys better than Bordello of Blood.
I haven't seen Lost Boys in forever.
Lost
And
Boys better than Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, that's not a very good movie. The Tom Cruise Brad Pitt thing?
You just gave 2 5-star reasons right there.
That movie
But
sucks, dude. Do you like that movie?
Bones, do you like that movie?
It's all right.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I remember it being like Cruise and Pitt are together for the first time ever. And it's like, oh, this movie's not.
I'd rather watch Queen of the Damned, if only because of the soundtrack.
I've never seen that. I think I started it and got to Jonathan Davis. That was about it. That was probably the first 5 minutes.
I think I've seen it on VHS, maybe.
Why?
You just walked by it?
Yeah. At the video store.
Oh, hey.
No, I think that's. I think I watched it once in high school on VHS.
Where?
Huh? My house.
All right.
Where else would I be watching VHS? At the screening room. Come on.
I just didn't know if your parents were like, yeah, you can rent that.
They were probably at that point. Once they were like, you know what? You can buy Grand Theft Auto 3. Then the floodgates opened and
We can't stop them now.
yeah.
So you're saying that you became a man whenever you played Grand Theft Auto 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I had sex with that video game.
That's when I lost my virginity.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, this is Bordello of Blood from the year 1996, directed by Gilbert Adler.
Are you not going to ask us to
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can rate my Letterboxd, I guess.
This is a tough one, Kron. But it's Tales from the Crypt, which you love. What is the... I have it right here. Hold on. Setting at a 2.7. Kron Howard, I'm going 2.5 for you.
All right. Bones, you got a guess?
2.0.
Wow. I guess we will see at the end of this episode. Guys, this is Bordello of Blood from the year 1996 by Gilbert Adler. I don't know what else this guy did. Nothing good, probably.
I think this was it.
No, this can't be a one and done. Gilbert Adler directed one movie, Bordello of Blood. Looks like he's more a producer. He
Poor
produced
guy. Poor
Demon
guy.
Knight. He produced Superman Returns.
Oh. Superman's going to return this summer.
I don't know why. That's not going to do good, right?
That's going to bring the box office back. Kron.
Is there any Superman movie that has done like really well at the box office?
The first?
The Christopher
Series?
Reeves one?
The first
Yes.
one, the second one, Superman Returns, I think did pretty well.
Is that Reeves?
Man of Steel did decent.
Yeah.
Do they?
BVS.
I feel like every time Superman pops up, I'm like, who gives a shit? Do you guys, I mean,
You don't care, but a lot of people do.
do you like Superman though? As like iconography? I feel like he's the most boring superhero.
Yeah. I'm not too keen on Superman.
No.
He's boring.
He's aight.
No, he sucks.
It's just too much. It's like you can fly, you're strong, you have frost breath, laser vision,
Yeah.
you can see through shit. Like
Somehow no one can tell you are Superman when you wear glasses as a man.
I think it's just the respect of it's like the first like major comic book.
Yeah. But
Who's your favorite superhero?
uh
Don't say your dad.
I mean, if I was just being honest, Batman was like the one that as a kid, I was like, this is it. This guy's got the juice.
I'm not even gonna ask Bones. We already know.
It's got to be Batman.
No, it's Superman.
Batman's way cooler than Superman.
I can honestly say I was probably more into like the Turtles than like Batman.
I don't know. I guess that was a comic.
Well, you guys tell me. You were the two that picked it for this podcast. 2 movies. 2 Turtles.
yes, it was a comic. It was a parody of Daredevil.
I didn't say that. Yeah, I did say that.
You weren't a Spider-Man kid?
No.
Spider-Man
like-
was pretty cool.
I feel like Spider-Man wasn't popular until like the first movie came out. I mean, I know it was popular, but you didn't see little kids wearing Spider-Man.
Nah, he had waves.
I feel like all mine is based on like what cartoons were going on. I
Yeah.
never really got into the comics, but Batman the Animated Series, and then I would say X-Men and Spider-Man were like that. That was the 3.
Yeah.
I gotta watch them.
I'm of that age where that big Spider-Man cartoon, like I'd already aged out of it.
The one from the 90s?
Yeah. There was like that one, the Iron Man cartoon.
See, I didn't catch that one at
Yeah.
all.
You didn't catch Turtles?
I mean, I watched Turtles, but I feel like Turtles for me, that was even before. It was kind of like Turtles was the start. And then when I was like No, I'm growing up. I'm getting more serious. Now I can watch Batman and X-Men. Because the Turtles cartoon, I feel like that was aimed a little more towards like younger than Batman. Batman was dark. It was like...
Yeah, I think that's the proper age progression of our generation was Turtles, Batman, and X-Men. Because the thing about X-Men was it could just go over your head. The message that they were doing, the storylines and shit that, you know, if you're 9 years old, the whole civil rights thing kind of lost on you, especially if you're a student in America.
I totally got it.
Well, you're so fucking smart.
Didn't go over my head.
Did you get this movie? Did you get what they were going for?
What is this movie?
There's some kind of... There's like a tongue-in-cheek kind of making fun of religion stuff in here. I mean, there is some kind of...
We should bring whorehouses back?
It's not all just... I mean, it's campy and goofy, but that's like all of Tales from the Crypt. Kind of has that, you know, we're having fun here more than we're really trying to like scare you.
Yeah, and it just doesn't know how to handle it.
I also think it works better as a 30-minute TV show than an hour and a half movie. Like even I think the TV show 30-minute chunks, like some of those are better to me than Demon Knight. And I think Demon Knight is a lot better than Bordello of Blood.
Yeah.
So you don't think Demon Knight is cream of the crop?
I think it just, like I said, I think it works better as a TV show when you've got these 30-minute chunks. If you're trying to blend, like, this is a fun little morality tale that we get to be a little violent, a little goofy, you get a little nudity. Like, having the smaller stories just works better for the format.
This would have massively improved if you cut it down to an episode. I completely agree.
The ending of it loses me. I don't like the ending of this movie.
All right, guys, let's get into it. We start out in Tierra del Fuego, which appears to be some long-forgotten, olden-timey scene that we're in.
What country?
Tierra del Fuego.
Is that in Spain or
South America.
Yeah, it's somewhere
Just
around
pick
there.
one.
It's out of the U.S. That's all you need to know. It's someplace Indiana Jones would go to.
It could be Central America, too. I shouldn't limit it.
We got this incredible little person actor, Phil Fondacaro.
From Willow. I think he's one of the warriors.
But he's great. He pops up in a ton of movies. I really like this guy. I think he's good. I think he's good in this.
Yeah, he's one of the better performances.
Like this opening, maybe better than the rest of the movie.
It's got some good stuff in it.
He's got all these guys together. They're looking at a map and discussing some treasure that they're all hunting. Phil promises that these guys, or tells these guys not to worry. They're all going to get a share of what they find. Eventually they start digging. They find what appears to be a coffin. They open it and there's a corpse inside. Phil says, "This is Lilith, guys. This is the treasure we're after."
Did you think it was going to be the Crypt Keeper?
I had seen the movie already. I didn't.
Did we all just get a severe thunderstorm warning alarm? Or an Amber Alert?
They don't even faze me anymore, dude.
The Amber Alerts?
Nah. The weather, the Amber Alerts. They just roll off my back, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when you get them? Do you go look? Do you run outside?
At the weather?
No, when the Amber Alert shows up.
I see. Did I see that car today? Maybe I can help.
All right.
How would you feel if you were stolen and some guy was just like, yeah, I seen a green Mazda, but yeah, fuck it.
Would that be an Amber Alert or like a mustard alert?
I don't think they send out alerts for people like me.
Oh, he's been gone for 3 days, ma'am? Yeah, he'll come back.
They say good. We didn't need him to begin with.
You have a picture of him? He's all right.
Yeah.
He'll wander back.
You want him back?
Just let him go.
You sure about that, man?
Let him go. All right, guys. Vincent tells everybody that this is the treasure we're after. This is the most evil woman that's ever existed. Said he had to search high and low the 4 corners of the earth to find the pieces of Lilith's heart. Now they're here to put it back together.
Why would you want to bring her to life?
Because you're trying to kill sinners?
I think Phil's thing is like, if I can control the most powerful woman in the world, then I'm really the one pulling the strings.
Everybody knows you can't tell Hillary Clinton what to do. Should they remake this and it's Hillary Clinton?
Do you think she opened that pickle jar?
Yes. I think she pegs Bill.
Because sometimes I get a jar and I'm like, God damn, what robot put this thing on here?
It's probably Hillary.
You telling me she got
But
those
Americans
pickles
are going to start building those robots. You understand?
Sure.
And those pickles are going to cost you $12 a jar.
Mm-hmm. $60 for a jar of pickles that I can't open to begin with. Great.
I mean, I'm sure to go down. They're going to cut minimum wage to like $3 an hour. So
somebody sent me something that they estimated if you built an iPhone in America, it would be like $28,000.
Guess I'm holding on to this 13.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're recording this episode on.
That's why it sounds the way it does.
Yeah.
Well, they'll fix that.
Guess 5DR is going to Android.
The audio is going to be really good, but it's going to cost $28,000. All right. They combine all these little heart pieces. It grows into one full beating heart.
Looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't look bad.
Is this one of the first instances where you see the fake hands?
Yeah. Phil's little
It's
fake.
very jarring because you look at it and you go, oh, that looks like shit. And then you think like, oh man, were those like really his little hands? Because now I feel bad. And then when they show it again later, you're like, oh no, those are definitely faux hands that they've made for the effect.
Yeah, why did they even do that though? Like, did they just not, they didn't get the insert shot? I don't know why you go to the trouble to build. Because it's not like they explode or anything.
Well, they're doing like the stop motion or whatever of the
Heart.
heart coming together.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys think these hands are real?
Your hands?
Yeah.
I don't care.
What even is real, dude?
Want to touch?
It's all it's simulation anyway.
You can touch me.
I don't want to
Sitting in the
touch you.
same room
You
with
keep saying that the whole time we're here. You can touch me. You can touch me.
Lower.
Dude,
lower,
stop.
Lower.
You know you can touch me, right?
I get what you're after. I don't want to touch you.
We were saying that last night. Correct a few 9.5
We're still in Central
IPS.
America, dude. Come on.
Vincent puts the heart in the chest cavity. This corpse starts regenerating. One of Vincent's guys like, what the fuck's going on? Vincent says this is a vampire, the mother of all vampires. Lilith just starts mowing through these guys. But Vincent stops her, guys. He holds up a blood key. This is the same prop from Demon Knight. Did you catch that?
Yes, Kron.
Okay.
I
I
eBayed it
didn't.
to buy it.
I guess, dude, I will touch you if you calm down. Like, what will make you happy here?
Why wouldn't I recognize
I don't know.
that?
You're getting snippy.
Well, you were hangry yesterday, and now he's horngry.
What does that mean?
You're horny angry.
It must be that all the time.
Yeah.
You're pent up, dude.
Now I know what
Do
it's
we
called.
need to stop down? We need to go.
Release this seed, Kron.
Go to the backyard. Knock one out. Come back clear-headed.
Are you going to stand in the window and watch me?
Well, yeah. I'm going to be knocking one out in here.
It's not.
While you're knocking
It's
one out
not
out
weird
there.
if there's a fucking patio door
Yeah.
between you.
Vincent's buddies,
Is he back?
they start going crazy. One guy's trying to climb away. Lilith shoots her tongue out into this guy's asshole and pulls him down.
It's the way I want to go.
We instantly cut over, guys. It's the Crypt Keeper and a mummy. The mummy has been telling this story the whole time. It's a movie.
Dude from Demon Knight.
The Mummy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a melting guy.
Okay.
Right?
No, he's the main hero. Guy from Die Hard 2 and Bill and Ted.
He's not Billy Zane.
No, he's that's the antagonist of Demon Knight. Keep going. I'll look it up.
This is all a movie that the mummy is pitching to the Crypt Keeper. These two, they start fucking playing rock, paper, scissors and cutting each other's fingers off.
Pretty cool.
Crypt Keeper gives us our intro.
William Sadler.
Man, he was so involved with Tales from the Crypt. Like, he's in both the movies. I think he plays the main guy in the first episode. Like, he was locked in from the beginning on that thing.
That's a solid dude to have in your roster, man.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we just have him in a movie?
We don't do a returning champs segment on this show.
Oh, okay.
Just like other podcasts know not to get into the Hustler Minute.
We got to stay in
We
our lane,
stay
dude.
away from returning champs.
You stay away from those fucking hustler cards.
Crypt Keeper's intro is a lot of like, in tonight's tawdry tale, we see a man who meets the ghoul of his dreams. It's a nasty bit of scarnal knowledge. There's all this fun wordplay.
You love it, don't you?
I do love it. Yeah. All the Crypt Keeper stuff is good. And honestly, watching either one of these movies, it always bums me out. Like, because there are all these rights issues with the TV show. And the Crypt Keeper looks great in HD. Like, when it cuts to him in those sets, I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, the puppeteering and his appearance in this looks great. Like the way his eyes pop and
Yeah.
the head roll that he has, like there's life to him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't walk, though.
Well, not in this one.
That is a slight against this one.
Yeah, Demon Knight, he was zipping around all over the place.
I also dislike that the prologue is connected to the overall story. I prefer in Demon Knight when it's a
Separate thing.
separate.
Yeah, it does kind of muddy the waters on this one. It's like they wanted to have the setup for the intro, but then they do tie it back into the main movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work as good. I'll agree.
And I mean, Tales from the Crypt is like it already sort of folds in on itself and is very meta, but this one definitely more so.
Mm-hmm.
Like this mummy is telling him this story, pitching it to him. He continues on with the other tale, and then periodically through the movie, I mean, fucking Miller even straight up says, like, I feel like I'm in a bad Tales from the Crypt.
Yep.
And again, is that one of his improv lines, or is that...
Nobody knows.
Yeah. All right, babe.
Do you want the Crypt Keeper to do your funeral?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Try to make it happen.
I want Big Bad Voodoo Daddy to do my funeral.
I was going to get Real Big Fish to do mine.
Sell out.
With me? Oh, yeah.
Think I'll have another beer. You guys want ska bands at yours?
Yeah. Why not?
I'm trying to get Crypt Keeper in mine. All right, we get into our actual story.
You know our wives are going to bury us with a just super religious ceremony.
I wanted to have... I've pitched on a few occasions.
Wait, to who?
Anybody who will listen. I want...
People at the bus stop.
Yeah. I want at my...
telemarketers.
At my visitation and funeral, like, what if all of my teeth were hidden around the building? And if you find one, you get $100. So it's like a fun scavenger hunt.
I think that would overshadow the memory of you.
I don't know. It'd be fun for it. And once all the teeth are found, everybody comes back into the room and they all sing a cappella the Monster Mash.
In life, you have been known for your teeth.
No, they're not good. I've got bad teeth.
When we collect all these teeth, do they like come together and you rise? And
No, you just get $100. If you find two, you get $200.
who's going to be in charge of hiding them?
My wife, I guess. Or maybe the guy who like owns the building. He probably knows all the best little nooks and crannies to...
It's not going to be a church. I don't think the church is going to let you throw teeth all over the place.
Well, I mean, they got the body of Christ
Maybe
floating around everywhere.
A Blair Witch church.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I thought you would just pitch your funeral to your wife, like at certain points.
I think that'd be fun, though. That'd give people something to do, you know?
You could just have like a cooler of beer and we can have a beer.
Look, if you think you don't need $100, then you don't have to look for teeth, dude.
I just love the fact that you haven't caught on that you die first.
Maybe the teeth go in the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Well, you get to keep the tooth.
Yeah, but if it comes preloaded in that can,
I want
you hear that rattle.
Mm-hmm.
I want a bone.
Teeth are bone.
There's no fucking at my funeral, dude.
I want your like femur.
Nah.
Come on, dude. You're not going to use it.
Make sure they put you in the coffin face down.
The teeth, you just close
Ass
the
up.
mouth. If I'm missing a whole bone, people are going to notice that.
It's going to be a closed casket. You think you're open, dude?
Yeah, I'm
Fuck
not
off.
open. I'm open casket.
No, you're not. Those teeth missing and shit.
Well, they just close the mouth. They sew the mouth anyway. What funeral do you go to where the guy's like,
If he's known for his teeth.
Yeah.
no.
Have you ever been to a dentist's funeral? They're always smiling.
All right, we cut over to these two siblings. There's a sister, Catherine. She's like a goody two-shoes Christian girl. And her brother, Caleb, he's metal as hell. These two are the exact opposite.
Not if you look her up in real life. She's not.
Well, she was a Baywatch lady.
And a playmate.
And she said, I'm done with TV. I'm a serious actor now. I only do movies. And she went to Bordello of Blood.
Yeah, and I think after Under Siege, she was like, no nudity, no more nudity.
Mm-hmm.
Which is... okay. Is it no more nudity because I was a playmate for 10 years and they can just go see that?
I don't know.
I think it's they want to be respected for their craft, not for their ass. Like,
Okay.
that's why I think at Kron's funeral, we should be talking about his jokes and his life and not his teeth.
You're looking for the teeth.
You didn't pick your teeth.
You're not talking about the teeth. You're finding the teeth.
Oh, sure.
You get money.
Sure.
Well, of course, somebody's going to talk about the tooth that they just found.
If you talk about it, you don't get the money.
Who's going to...
So it's a secret Easter egg hunt for teeth.
Yes.
I feel like we're going to be the ones that are putting this together, Bones and I.
All right. Well, I hope you got a good hammer to get the teeth out.
I don't want that.
A hammer?
Yeah. How else are you going to get the teeth out of me?
Just bang on the back of your skull until they come out?
Yeah.
A pair of pliers wouldn't...
All right. You can use pliers.
Okay.
How did you die?
Hammer to the head.
Yeah.
Trying to get his teeth out.
Caleb eventually gets pissed off and he says, fuck this, I'm out of here. He goes over to some dive bar. Him and his buddies are throwing darts into each other's ball sacks.
That's what we did last night.
The
Oh, shit, I forgot.
the hair and beard game on Feldman in this is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
The like his lines are right, but he kind of has that the last decade or so where Eminem, like his beard looks just
I can't believe you just compared Eminem.
dyed, and they're both incredible music artists.
Yeah. I mean, Feldman toured with Limp Bizkit recently, right?
Yeah.
So he's moving on up.
Okay.
I think not only is the performance in this terrible, but I think the writing of the character is wrong.
Of Feldman's character?
Yeah. I think it'd be way more interesting if he was less of this metal, cool bad boy, which I guess that's why you want Feldman to begin with. But if he was more like a sweeter, innocent kid who was just really trying to get laid,
Mm-hmm.
I would believe that the sister would be more into, is it Catherine? Is that her name?
Yeah, Catherine.
More into tracking him down. And it would be a bigger bummer when it's uncovered that he is now a vampire and he's working for him and betraying her.
Mm.
Like, he's already shitty and antagonistic to her. So when he becomes a vampire, it's like, okay, he already kind of hated her.
Yeah.
I would have much rather, like, maybe he had a friend who was shitty and he was the one that pushed him to go to the brothel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's hardly any tragedy in this. And I feel like, aside from the twist at the end, that's really the only Tales from the Crypt sort of lesson,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say overall, like, because all that Tales from the Crypt stuff, it was all based off those EC comics,
Yeah.
And I do feel like most of the episodes, they're like little morality plays, right? Like this person cheated on their husband and now they're getting their comeuppance. The husband crawls out of his grave and, eats her face off. Like, it's gory and dumb.
Well,
but
that's a reason to leave your teeth in.
But at the core,
Can't be gnawing on your wife.
Mm-hmm. They are all kind of like little morality tales.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get to the end of this one and it is kind of like, what's the lesson here? Like, not to, I don't know if there is any kind of real, like message this one's driving home.
Yeah, I think chasing sex could be the ultimate, like, faux pas, or like that could be the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because Miller trying to help her because he's sort of into her and wants to lay her.
Mm-hmm.
There is sort of that story of like, well, you did the right thing by helping her out, but your intentions were to get laid.
Mm-hmm.
And you got what you wanted when it's revealed at the end. That's okay. I think if that's paralleled with the brother, that's awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
And then one other step to that could be the guy with the blood key. He wants the power, and then he starts to realize, like, at some point, like, wow, he really wants to have sex with her, and she won't. Like, it's not about the power. Like, I just want to have a taste of Lilith. That could have been a really cool thing. And now he's balanced that with the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do feel like the bones are there of this to be a really fun, like, message on trying to get your dick wet can really result in you getting killed, and that being based around a bordello. And the fact that it's so dropped dings at like a full point for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at a 0.5?
Pretty close.
All right. Eventually, Caleb and his buddy, they learn, hey, if you guys are really looking for a thrill, you got to go to 325 Beaumont and ask for the Cunningham Wake. This like weird barfly guy that keeps popping up. This is what he tells them. Like, you want to get laid, you want to have fun, go here, ask for the wake.
Are you listening to a guy at a bar
I mean,
that's going to tell you this? You're listening, but are you going to go?
these guys are early 20s, though.
Small town.
I think back in my early 20s, if someone was like, hey, crazy party, I might drive up to it, you know?
As long as you had a buddy with you?
Yeah. If I had a couple friends, if it's not that far away, yeah, let's go check it out. You know, it's only 11 p.m. Let's go to the party.
But doesn't he say whorehouse?
I think because they're throwing the darts, and I think the waitress comes over and she's like, what you boys really need is to get laid. Like that'll, you know, instead of being here playing all these games.
Throwing darts at each other's balls.
Mm-hmm. And then that's when the guy at the bar is like, hey, if you really want some action, go over here. Go to this wake. These guys knock on the door at the funeral home. They do ask for the wake. They go to leave, but the mortician tells them, like, hey, are you boys here for the Cunningham wake? They say absolutely. He leads them to a coffin. He says, you got to get in. They finally crawl in there. Once they do, he hits a button. They go on like a little conveyor belt. There's fire.
No, mute me so I can go pee.
They think they're about to get killed. But one of you know it. The coffin pushes through to the other side. The top of it flies open. And guys, they're greeted by just a bevy of topless women.
Yeah.
For everything this movie lacks, they do throw enough nudity in there for, I mean, they got to know, right? Like our target audience on this one, boys and men aged 16 to 20.
Yeah.
Like we got to deliver on a few key things to get asses in the seat.
What? And this isn't a dig at Canadian women, but it does feel like, oh, this wasn't a Hollywood production.
Yeah. This looks, I mean, these aren't Baywatch women.
Yeah.
These are the cold white north. Yeah.
This is the cream of their crop, willing to.
Less tans, a little more body hair coverage.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining.
No, I didn't want it to be that, but it was definitely a thing of, oh, okay. I could have believed that this was LA up until this, like, right. And combined with the information. Oh, okay. Very apparent on the second watch.
I mean, these women are hot, but they're Vancouver tins.
Yes. And same goes for the extras, the dudes that are in there. At the very least, I felt like they captured the type of dude that would be
right
going to this brothel.
These guys do. The coffin flies open. One of these women asked them instantly if they would like to take the Skin Express to Tuna Town. I mean, absolutely, you know.
Don't sell yourself short, lady.
These guys
wouldn't scare you that she said Tuna Town?
Not me.
I think that'd be a little scary. And how are we like on sloppy seconds here? Like, do we know a count?
I think if you're going to a Bordello, you've moved past the idea of sloppy seconds bothering you.
I'm pretty sure in the bathroom there's a sign that says all employees must wash their pussy before returning to work. Like, I think they're.
I don't know. I think I would get there, I'd get in the room, and then I'd be like, hey.
Well, you can always just, you know.
How long's your shift? How many hours are you into your shift?
I think you can always just like, how about a blowjob though? You know?
I think that, but I get what you're saying. That just comes with the territory. And to Kron's, like,
I mean, you go see a hooker, like, it ain't her first night working. You know what I mean? This is not.
I don't want like 10 minutes after she just got dropped off, and 10 minutes later she's in my ride.
Well, but I mean, you don't know. You never.
Well, that's the trade-off of getting one that's good, because she's going to be popular, right?
Do you have any that? Is this their first day? Do you ask that?
I feel like they come at a premium.
Yeah.
I think not only are the popular ones being able to charge more because they're good, I think fresh fish.
Also, are any of these women Asian with green eyes?
And blonde hair?
I think she's got dark hair in that movie. I was doing Big Trouble in Little China. I think you were just picturing a woman you might like to have sex with.
I was doing National Lampoon's Senior Trip. That's the level.
Talk about the thing that he brings up fucking constantly.
Fucking
I think
idiot.
we're going to watch that this weekend.
Get on my level, please.
All right, guys. These dudes, they
You're in the Char, dude. Come on.
yeah,
Act like it.
This is Senior
Fucking
Trip
act like
territory. I should point out, I guess, at this point in the record, Corey Feldman does have these little tiny glasses on. That who bought these?
It was definitely a Dan.
Dan purchased for each of us a little pair of Corey Feldman round tiny glasses.
And they look
About how they look in the movie.
spectacular.
I don't know what the point of these are.
What are you talking about? They
Fashion.
look cool,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay.
You fucking idiot.
I'm sorry I said a bad thing about Senior Trip, dude. You still seem a little keyed up about it.
I've talked about it for 4 years and none of my friends, my supposed friends, have watched it.
I have seen it. I've seen it since we've been doing the show, but I watched it years ago. I was well aware of it. It's got the dude from Lawnmower Man 2.
Kron?
All right, our guys split up. They start hooking up with two separate women, but as they're kind of getting into it, Lilith comes in. So one guy's like, what's going on? She says, hey, this one warms you up. I finished the job. They start making out a little, but she pushes that big long tongue of hers down this guy's chest cavity and pushes his heart out of his body. It's a good looking effect. I'm not saying across the board every effect looks good, but some of this practical stuff does work. Like, there are some shots in here that are pretty well done.
Mm-hmm.
You got a crew of Tales from the Crypt dudes that know what they're doing.
This might have been one of the days where they had some of the U.S. team come up and kind of...
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Saving Canada again. Am I right?
We jump back over to Caleb. He's hooking up with a girl that's got 3 nipples. He says, looks like I finally found a girl with a little something extra.
Doesn't she have one pierced or all of them pierced?
She has at least the extra one pierced.
Do you get a BOGO for that?
Yeah, but
I think that
that's
would
still
scare-
just 2. You got to pay for another one.
I think that would fucking scare me if I seen that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if she goes to the piercer and says, I want to get my tit pierced.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay. And she pulls out her tit. She's got 2 nipples. Does he go, whoa, 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 whoa? That's 2 piercings. And she says, no, but it's the same tit.
No, you're getting charged for 3 holes.
I think they'd settle at 1.5.
Okay.
No.
First one's $60, second one's $30.
What if she's like, I'm just going to tilt and see if you can do it in one?
I think if it's one in and one hole in and one hole out, that's one price.
That constitutes a piercing, right?
Yeah.
There was a 2-month period where I tried to get everybody to get 1 nipple pierced. And nobody ever fucking...
I don't think you ever did it. I was waiting for you.
No.
Be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
So if I pay
don't try to tell me to do it if you're coming in. When you're taking your shirt off and there's no ring hanging out of there, then your argument's done. You're not convincing me.
So you're telling me that if I get it done, you got to get it done.
I'll consider it.
No. It's not a consider it. It's a, all right, I'll get it done.
I'll consider it.
You better believe I'm holding you both down and I'm putting a chain between.
No, you're getting
I'm connecting you both. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I already have like
what?
sugar nips. Like my nips already popped through a t-shirt.
What are sugar nips?
Like they're like my nipples already get like easily plumped. Like not.
Kron, get that drop. So you're saying is you go outside, a wind blows.
It doesn't even have to be like a wind. Like you can see, like I'm not even cold. Like, but it's obvious. Like,
oh, that's hard.
he just came up and grabbed me like that dude in Cruising.
Mm-hmm.
He just ripped.
Is this, he like touches?
Well, if you got them both done, at least they'd be uniform then.
Yeah, they'll always be hard. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Listen, yes, my plump, fleshy nipples
Your
will make.
your puffy nipples.
Yes,
Sugar
they're
nips.
not puffy. Puffy, there is a distinction between the rim and the tip. A puffy, I feel like, implies you got that.
The growth.
Yeah, it looks like a traffic cone. You know, like it all kind of goes right.
Some guys are really into that.
Yeah, you take each tit on a case by case basis.
Yeah. I think that was one of the first like fetish things I learned about.
For you?
No. That,
Okay.
It's just like one of the first times that I looked up like pornography on the internet. There might have been a link that was like puffy nipples.
Yeah.
And I was like, like what do we got going on? Like, what does this even mean? Give me some examples.
Yeah. You've got like the pyramid traffic cone tit, and then you've got the top hat. More traditional regimented. Right? And then you got those dudes that got little innies.
Mm-hmm.
One innie, one outie. Now, what we're talking puffy, the most recent Nosferatu. Like hearse?
I don't know.
You fell asleep.
I don't want to comment on her.
Okay.
that
Kron liked
feels
them.
weird to be like,
Yeah.
well, it's also like a direct
Yeah, let's
person.
analyze a real woman's
Yeah.
nipples.
It's a film.
I guess I'll say I didn't dislike them.
Yeah.
I
We
saw.
know because that's your first kink that you were
It's the
aware
first
of
like
in your
kink
life
thing that I learned about. I think
that you liked.
that people were like into a very specific nipple.
Wait, there's people like me out in this world.
Mm-hmm. That's
How are-
my kink. dude.
How are the chat rooms?
me number one?
Are you envious of the people that can fucking laser in on one very specific thing that like, oh my God. Like what I love is 1 square inch on a lady's body. And particularly if it is of a puffy nature.
I mean, I guess they know what they like. There's got to be something for like.
I think you just need to be more open with yourself and figure that out. Maybe go on that journey.
Yeah, but it's never unlocked for me where I'm also going to assume that that fetish is probably attached to like the first pair of breasts you ever saw, right?
I don't know. I
Or
mean,
your
what
mom's.
like sends anyone down like into a specific
I was bottle
fetish?
fed, dude. That explains a
Me
lot.
too.
I don't know like what triggers that. I mean, I guess I've seen a puffy nipple, but I guess that it's not ever like I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
I can't go back to normal nipples now. You know what I mean?
But that could just be the easy Hannibal Lecter answer, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, they're into that thing because of some trauma associated. But the inverse of like
Mhm.
the first time you nutted was to like these torpedo titties
right.
in a 1940s catalog.
Mhm.
And then, like, when are those going to come back?
Catalogs?
Yeah.
I will say that you were thinking of a reason to open or to do a Substack, and that would be a great one.
I don't need a Substack. I don't have a new podcast coming.
So that would be a great read for me. Bones's Fetish Journeys. God, I can't wait.
Fetish Journeys. So the premise being that I'm seeking out to figure out what my fetish is.
Yeah, me and Kron will fund it, mostly Kron, and we'll send you places, and you can see what you like, you know?
Okay. And what's Kron's Substack like? Figuring out how to hide his
perfect puppy
teeth.
nipple.
I'm not that into it though. I'm not equipped to judge that.
The nipple or the teeth?
The nipple.
But
to me it's just another nipple. To some guy out there it's like the ideal nipple.
yeah, so that's the question though. Do you guys envy those people that are like, that's the one fucking thing I'm gonna like, I have tunnel vision on everything else. This is the thing I'm gonna seek out.
I mean, I guess I get it in the sense that they're like, this is way attractive to me. I guess I understand it more than a guy that's like, I gotta get shit on. You know what I mean? Like, I can at least understand the nipple guy a little more than.
My fascination is with like the websites. They're like, oh, that's a thing. Like, okay, let's make a category for that.
Mhm.
Like, is that a meeting they go to? Or they're like, hey, we went to this brothel the other night and this dude was getting whipped.
All right.
Yeah, let's put that on there.
I'm going to preemptively say this isn't the thing that I'm fucking into, but I'm aware of it because of pop culture. Wiki feet, right? That's still a pretty. You want?
What?
That wasn't very subtle.
What?
You looked over your little Feldman glasses down at my feet.
I was looking at my feet.
Okay. But that's one thing.
Oh my God.
That's one thing where I'm like, okay, I can kind of get it. But being into puffy nipple seems like being into, I like a stubby pinky toe, right?
You think it's down to that detail? Though?
I do think so, because it's one thing to be a titty guy, and it's another to be
to like a
you're,
more.
you're narrowing it down even further.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but there's also a part of me where it's like, I understand more, even if it's a specific thing. I get a guy that's like, I'm into this one kind of nipple, because it's like, I like breasts and nipples too.
Mm-hmm.
But then if there's a guy that's like, I like all feet, it's like, well, that's not a thing. Like, I don't see a foot and get sexual feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I at least, the nipple guy, I'm like, yeah, dude, I get nipples, but it's hyper specific versus sexualizing a thing that's not sexual for a majority of people.
Yeah, I guess it's like you like jazz. But if another guy was like, I only like Miles Davis, I will, no jazz will do anything for me. I will not tap my toe. I will not snap unless it is specifically Miles Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I got that
And
bitch's brew.
what you're saying is like, well, no, there's some jazz that sucks.
Yeah.
There's some jazz that's uneven.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
But to just rule out, like, I don't look at any titty unless it's puffy.
Well, you're looking
I
at
mean,
the
that's
titty.
be two extremes.
You're looking at the titty to see if it's puffy, and if it's not, you're like, eh.
It is a fetish though, right? Like
Throwing them out like fucking John Belushi did records when they were looking for what to cover on the Blues Brothers. Like, he famously would play something for 10 seconds and go nope and break the record in half so they wouldn't listen to it again. You're just clicking through.
Some girl shows up, takes her top off on your couch. You're like, yeah, this isn't going to work.
it is a fetish though. Like, I mean, it's not like that guy can only, maybe for some people, but I feel like for some guys, it's like, no, I live a normal life. I I go to my puffy nipple Reddit every night and crank off. You know, it's like I can still function in society and have a normal relationship with a woman.
Yeah.
But is he in a relationship with a woman who doesn't have puffy nipples?
Well, see, I think a guy could do that for his whole life. It's just if anyone ever finds his search history, he's going to be cooked, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
or he just buys those like nipple things for his wife.
But I mean, if he's out there dating, you know, she could be sitting there being like, we had such a nice time. I don't know why you broke up with me. And he could be like, I gotta find a
puffy nipples,
a puffer out there. I mean, I cannot be locked down with a.
I'm looking for a puffy, baby.
I mean, I respect the directness.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's just a horrible fucking bitch, but she's got like the greatest
puffy nipples,
puffs.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that
I couldn't do that. That would be.
I feel like if you see two people, well, this is a whole fucking tangent. Like if you see a guy and you're like, you seem kind of normal, and then you meet his chick and you're like, she is fucking disgusting. I am not remotely into her at all. Her attitude sucks. She doesn't take care of herself physically. Hygienically, she's gross. I'm just going to assume that she is got something that we don't see, or she does something that keeps him into her, right?
Yeah.
Why are you guys both looking at me?
Because we're wondering why your wife keeps you around. Like, what's the one thing that you do?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's something.
Ass.
Your ass?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to get off this puffy nipple talk.
You were the one that started it.
I feel like I continued it. I apologize. I'm going to mute myself for a while.
Kron is totally into puffy nipples.
All right, Lilith kills this guy. We cut over to Catherine at a police station. She's reporting her brother missing. They can't really do anything for her. Hanging out in the waiting room is Rafe Gutman, Dennis Miller. He says he's a PI. He offers his services for $150 a day plus expenses.
He also says he's a comedian, but...
What is Dennis Miller?
He's a fucking comedian.
But did he do like a bunch of political shit? Was that his shtick?
He had an HBO show.
Was it was he like Bill Maher before Bill Maher?
I will say this. I think Dennis Miller is funnier than Bill Maher.
I'll say that too. I'll agree with that.
Miller started as a stand-up, just a true stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
Got SNL, Weekend Update. I think he's got another bigger, is it the black and white special that a lot of stand-ups will reference as like a great special.
Okay.
I think he's off SNL at this point. He's probably just doing touring.
I think he may have been starting the HBO thing at this point. Or
he was working at the time.
He was? Okay.
Because in that...
he would do this on the weekends.
Well, in the behind the scenes thing, they talk about how the entire crew was pissed off because he would do his HBO thing Saturday, Sunday, which made their weekends...
Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, Monday, something like that.
Oh, yeah. It would like mess up their shooting block. So none of the people working on Bordello of Blood could like be with their families on the weekends.
Yeah.
Because they had to work Saturday and Sunday on the movie to like accommodate his schedule.
I think in the end, it was political with the HBO show.
My recollection of that show though was that it wasn't quite of a Bill Maher level. Like it was this is the weekend news. Here's an interview with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wasn't bringing in senators and shit.
It was kind of like Weekend Update, but just extended to like an entire 30-minute show or something.
I think so.
Kind of like riffing on news or something that.
Yeah. I also may be conflating it with the Chris Rock show, which was a few years after that, or maybe even at the same time on HBO. I'm pretty sure it's on the Dennis Miller show. Drew Carey was on there. And Drew Carey was telling a story about he used to have a buddy that had raw footage, or like he was a porno editor or knew somebody that was a porno editor. So he would give him like behind the scenes stuff from porno shoots, stuff that was cut out. And he said like the funniest outtake he had ever seen was this guy and this chick fucking, and the guy was like, "Oh fuck yeah, baby." And you hear the director go, "Quit fucking ad-libbing." Like it rattled my mind as a kid because Drew Carey's like this, like on fucking network TV seemed like a square guy.
Yeah.
And like he was like dropping F-bombs and talking about porno. And I was like, whoa, what the hell?
My hero.
But when does he start doing Monday Night Football? Because
Was that
9/11,
after?
I think that's after 9, because 9/11 really radicalized him. Like he really became like oh fuck this. Like,
Is he like a MAGA dude?
I don't know if he's MAGA necessarily, but he's very conservative. Like
Okay.
very pro, let's bomb the shit out of them. Like we are the police of the world.
Basically Joe Rogan before.
Socially, I don't know what his issues are.
You don't really hear from him, I guess. I think he tours still.
Yeah,
Does he still do like, "Hey, babe"? Is it
I think so.
the audience
I mean-
erupts in laughter?
I don't mean to get on a rant here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we know that's all you're going to do, dude.
Well, and even
That's why we bought the ticket.
I feel like even this movie, they were kind of like, "We want you to do this," and his way of saying no was like, "Okay, give me $1 million." Then and they were like, "Okay, we can do that."
And he's like, shit.
Yeah. Well, but I don't think he liked well, part of it too, though. I don't think he saw himself as like an actor. So it's like, why am I doing this movie? I should just be doing stand up or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it ends up, they overpay him. He doesn't, I don't think he does a great job in the movie. So it's like they overpay for a bad product and then he like trashes it on Leno or something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a shitty situation all around.
Yeah, a guy who didn't really want to be there.
Didn't want to be there in the first place, but then was getting so much money he couldn't say no to it.
Still had a show. Weird choice, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't he friends with like one of the producers or some shit?
Joel Silver.
Well,
that
Joel's-
really wanted him.
Yeah, it's like Joel Silver just thought he'd be like the next big thing for some reason. I mean, maybe saw a stand up like that one that everybody keyed into and was like, "This is the guy. Like he can pull off a movie."
And he had done some supporting things. I think he's in Murder on 1600 or Murder at 1600, the
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes movie.
Mhm.
I think he's just like, and he's perfect in that.
Right.
Kind of like what Kevin Pollak was also, like stand up, let me transition over in the movies.
Mhm.
But Pollak is substantially a better actor. It seems like he cares.
Mhm.
Yeah. I will say he has funny lines in this. There are some things that he says and the delivery is funny, objectively.
Right.
But for every one of those, there is a "Lucy, I'm home,"
Yeah.
or "That's the craziest shit thing I've ever fucking seen."
Yeah.
Nope, that's the second crazy. Like,
I didn't know you had Taco Bell tonight.
Well, I think they don't they say that he like ad-libbed a bunch of stuff too?
Yeah, they
and
were
then
pissed.
it's like he would ad-lib, but he would also demand that they shoot him out every day. So it's like he wanted to do all of his scenes first so he could leave. But then it's like by the time they got to, okay, now let's film the other stuff, there would be like continuity problems because he decided to ad-lib,
Shit that wasn't in the
Yeah.
script.
yeah, like 10 of his lines, and they might have already filmed the responses to those lines, and now they don't make any sense together.
I think Everhart says that, where she was like, "I really wasn't an actor. I was really trying hard to know my lines and work for that particular scene. And then if he says something completely different,
Yeah.
and like you said, he's not even there.
Right.
I don't know if that's totally his fault, her performance, but
Yeah.
because it's not like she's only bad in his scenes.
Well, but again, it's kind of like if you're already bringing in a guy who is not an actor, maybe you don't also, as one of your other leads, bring in a woman who is not an actress to, you know.
You tell that to the 3 Oscars that she has now.
All right, guys. Gutman eventually decides to go investigate at the brothel. I skipped too much. I didn't skip too much. She hires him. He goes to the brothel.
I do think the scene where he goes, before he goes to the brothel, he goes to the pool hall.
Yeah.
And kind of shakes down his buddies. I do think that is a good scene. That's a good detective sort of noir scene. He's like in his element. I think probably because it's a lot of wides.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to see the interaction, like him like calling out how shitty the dude is at pool.
Yeah.
And then there's the interaction with like the dumb friend who's like trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is objectively good in that scene, I think. But yeah, continue. That prompts him to go to the Bordello.
Yep. Once he gets there, we quickly cut over. This is where we meet this like TV preacher guy. This is who Catherine works for.
Fuck.
He's giving a sermon. He's got some kind of southern dipshit accent that he does throughout the film. And then he launches into Christian rock music and plays the guitar and a bunch of shit like that.
This is where you see the Christ laser.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's later.
Yeah.
That's later when they set it up. Yeah.
But we do see at this point, Vincent is back from the beginning of the movie, and he's working for this preacher as well.
Wait, what?
I mean, it's like, how old is Vincent that he... The stuff at the beginning looks like it's the year 1721. And
I think in that it's just because they're referencing Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preacher is named JC. Catherine is talking to him. She introduces Gutman. Gutman tells her he hasn't found Caleb yet, but he's got some leads. Caleb and his buddies went to a whorehouse. This is where Gutman heads over to the bar. The biker tells him, that weird biker guy from the beginning tells him he's got to go back to the brothel, check out the Cunningham Wake.
You didn't see some craziest shit you ever seen.
That guy is weird, but he kind of works for like a Tales from the Crypt thing.
Yeah.
We cut over to the mortician. He's chopping up a body or something. Tells Gutman, Wake's closed tonight. You can't come in. This is where Gutman decides to like sneak around the side of the building. He gets into a window. Eventually he finds Caleb's nose ring. And he's like, all right, this is good evidence.
Being able to believably sneak, I think, is an important aspect of being able to pull off a detective.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't got it.
Yeah, well, Solid Snake built his entire career on that skill.
Yeah. But let's take Die Hard, for example. Like, one of the reasons Willis is so good in that and so believable is the way he moves when he's trying to not get caught through that. Like he can float necessarily. Fucking Miller in his pleated khakis just trotting around. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's like if someone walked in the room, he would just stand straight against a wall and hope for the best.
Sometimes that works, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A vampire's vision's based on movement.
I've seen Scooby-Doo before, you know, like
Vampire, their vision is really good in the day. It's really good at night, but in the twilights, whenever you can really fuck with them.
Like a magic hour?
Yeah.
Damn.
I learned that in a book. Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice.
Wow.
Shout out.
Your favorite book, your favorite movie.
Did you read more vampire book? She's American, isn't she? Is Anne Rice
I don't
American?
know.
I don't know.
I just wanted two vampires who would make love to each other, but I couldn't write that in the 90s.
I know there was some whole thing.
And yeah, didn't she like have some controversy?
Well, I think they've talked about it. It might be from Doughboys or something, but it's like
What?
whoever owns Popeye's Chicken, there's like some like some famous bar or something in Interview with a Vampire. And like the guy who owns Popeyes bought it and put a Popeyes in there. And she's like very publicly been like, that's such a terrible thing. And he will just tweet her and be like, I own your fucking restaurant, you dumb idiot. And he'll like needle her and shit.
Oh, she's American. She's from New Orleans,
New Orleans?
Louisiana.
Okay.
I wonder if Cajun Kron knows her.
Who knows?
Oh, she's dead. She died in 2021.
Of COVID?
Anybody want to guess? COVID?
Hit by a bus.
Both wrong. Stroke.
Got her.
I think her daughter writes as well.
Under her name.
No, she's just another Rice.
Obi Trice?
She should marry
That's right.
Frank Herbert's
Real name,
son.
no gimmicks. She should marry who?
Frank Herbert's son.
What's his name?
I don't know. Herbert?
Frank Herbert Rice?
Well, they could just, they could keep writing their parents' books
I
forever
can
and ever.
blend them together eventually.
Does Dune Kid write Dune books?
Yeah.
Really?
The dad wrote 6, and then he's been like, hey, here's 30 more Dune books.
Are any of them good?
I don't know. I think
He found transcripts and outlines and stuff.
Yeah.
That informed this is what he was working on, where it would go.
I mean,
His
I
intentions.
Yeah.
I think even out of the 6 that Frank Herbert wrote, though, like people have varying opinions on how good all those are. Because I think a lot of people are like, you can just read 1, and then some people are like, you can do 1 and 2 because that ends like that's a whole storyline. That's Paul Atreides' storyline.
Or you can just watch Denny's movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's like, there are probably people that are like, no, you should read all 6. There's probably somebody out there that's like all 40 Dune books are valuable,
Where are you?
I've only read 1 and 2.
Okay.
That's
And-
like Puppet Masters. I think you only need to watch 1, 2, and 3. And then you've got people that
No.
keep one.
No.
You haven't even finished all the Puppet
That
Masters.
is interesting though that you're not just a Puppet Master 1 guy. Like you do acknowledge that the run from 1 to 3 is
I was trying to make a comparative proportion, but okay.
You were trying to feed his puffy nipple.
I'm proud of you. You've grown a lot since we started
what
this
if that's
podcast,
somebody's
dude.
like, you got to put a foot on a puffy nipple to come.
All right, guys. Eventually, Gutman gets into
You figured me out, dude.
the brothel. He comes
I
back.
gave you the hints, and you
Bones just crossed
You
his
solved
leg.
it.
He gets in there. A prostitute comes up to him and she asks, do you know where you just landed? He says, Larry Flint's id. That's my favorite joke from this movie. Dan, do you know who Larry Flint is?
Not at all.
Oh, dude. That's embarrassing. He's like is it Hustler or Penthouse?
Penthouse. I believe.
Penthouse.
Sounds like you don't know who Larry
Haven't you
maybe
Flint is.
seen, have you not seen The People versus Larry Flint? The one with,
Yeah, Courtney Love's got a bush in that one.
Woody Harrelson,
Woody Harrelson and the guy from Fight Club,
Brad Pitt.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay. Jared Leto.
Holy shit, he also died in 2021.
Oh, can I guess of what?
Yeah.
Stroke.
Who is this?
Larry Flint.
Cancer.
What'd you say, Kron?
Stroke.
Congestive heart failure.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, didn't he get, he gets shot right? Like in the movie, and then he's wheelchair bound.
It was Hustler. We have him to thank for the cards.
Oh, thank you, Larry.
Yeah, he got shot, and I think that's what put him in the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Professor X, man. Professor XXX.
He's a pretty hideous man. All right, Gutman starts checking out
You
the
think
brothel.
the last years of his life was like, no, I'm not one of those. I lost my joke.
Puffy nipples.
No, I was gonna make a. Who were the two terrible producers?
Weinsteins?
Yeah, I'm not a Weinstein.
I mean, arguably, Larry Flint is probably a better person than the Weinsteins.
Yeah. He actually waters his plants.
Mm-hmm.
What is that a reference to?
Look it up on your own time.
I don't want to.
All right, Gutman starts checking out the brothel. Let's see. He finds that biker guy in the lobby. What goes on from here? Gutman finds himself in some kind of dungeon with a lady.
Boy, is she ever a lady.
This is where we get the Lucy, I'm home line, which after that great Larry Flint joke, this one really sucks.
She's hot, though.
Yeah. This lady grabs
Like what she's wearing.
whip and tells him to take off his clothes. He says, "You first." Great little gag where she just pulls her clothes and they all come off.
She looked like she worked at a Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go there, but I was like...
Gutman starts unbuttoning his shirt. This lady instantly turns away. But
Did that guy not know what a person from Denny's looks like?
He's never been to a Denny's.
That's
dude.
what I'm kind of wondering.
He's fine dining his whole life.
Is he so rich that he's never been to it? He's like, huh, that's
Never.
what they wear at Denny's? He's telling all his friends and shit.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go to Denny's, guys. Shut up, Thomas. My mom has an 84 caviar.
Has an 84 Is that a car?
Caviar? No,
She has 84 caviars.
it's fish eggs, and they're delicious.
I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.
What a fuck is that noise? She's got her vibrator on over there.
All right, Gutman starts taking off his shirt. This lady instantly turns away. She thinks she sees a little glint of a cross, but she looks back. It's a Star of David. She's not freaked out anymore. Gutman straps this lady down to the table. He says, let's see how all this stuff works. But as soon as he's got her tied down, he picks up his clothes and runs off, drops his wallet on the way out.
Typical.
Some PI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is amateur hour shit. Can't even get your ID out of there.
You guys ever dropped your wallets somewhere? Had to go back and get it?
When I was a kid and I first started carrying a wallet, when I first got my ID card, you grew up on a base. It was a big deal when you
He was 10.
finally got your ID card, and it was a big deal to carry it myself.
It's
and I had
very important. Your parents
yeah.
gave you the speech of, you have to have this, don't lose it.
Mm-hmm. And I had a Velcro trifold wallet, and I think I had emptied my pockets at my friend's house for something, and then I just left because I wasn't used to having shit in my pockets, and then I absolutely freaked out. But I will tell you now, because of the bucket seats in my car, I usually put my phone in my back pocket.
Mm.
But if it's in my front pocket, just the way that the seat rides, it'll very often I'll be in the house and I'll realize 20 minutes later, God, fuck. And I go out to my car and it's just sitting in my seat.
Mm.
Do you freak a little?
No. Because as long as I have the watch on and I can hit the little ping, that's also super helpful
For your phone or your wallet?
for my phone.
Oh, okay. It's like, how do you ping your wallet? That's awesome.
Got
Get an AirTag.
in there.
Yeah, I guess.
I
Can
think
you ping an AirTag? Guess you could follow it.
Yeah,
I put one of those on the kid when she goes to the city museum.
that's cool.
That's probably irresponsible.
I dropped I'm gonna get a Brewster's here, but I've got some Beats earphones that are pretty nice. And I dropped one in the yard. And I was kind of freaking out. And I was like, what is it? Like, what does the Find My Phone, like, what does it have? And it has a thing on it where it'll ding to it to just amplify like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like it'll make like a buzz noise. So I was just like walking through my yard, like trying to listen for it. Well, then I picked it up and I put it in my ear and I thought like, oh, it'll turn off because it has the thing that recognizes when it's in your ear and out. No, like as I walked all the way up the yard until I went to my phone and shut it off, it was just in my ear. I could have taken it out, but I'm just so used to it. If it's out of the case, it's in my ear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I left one of mine in the other office and I came back and I was like, where the fuck did I do with that AirPod? And I like pulled it up and I was still in like the same facility, so it didn't help me really.
Yeah. It'll just show you're super close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck.
But at least you're close to it.
Yeah. It's like, I know it's still in here.
Yeah. It's, at that point, it's like, well, at least it's in the house somewhere. Like it's not showing up,
2 towns over.
Yeah. All right. Where are we in this fucking movie?
This is your fucking movie.
He tricks the lady and ends up hooking her up to the torture device.
Eventually, Lilith goes and frees that vamp lady. She tastes Gutman's blood and says it's 1 in a million, and we have to keep him alive. Don't really get all of this, but
lucked out.
It's in the movie for some reason.
It's not a Jewish thing, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just maybe he's got some special blood or something. It doesn't really come back to be anything. So.
Sarcastic Jewish detective.
Lilith eventually goes to visit Gutman.
5'5".
Hair all over.
Terrible jokes.
One terrorist attack from just absolute conservative insanity.
She kind of starts to seduce him, shows him a bunch of like fantasies that he could live out with her. She's a cheerleader, then she's Marilyn Monroe, then she's Catherine. It's fun, I guess.
Puffies,
Puffy,
top hats.
yeah. Big bush, no bush.
You guys are really letting a lot out on this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My thing just implies that I like vagina.
My learning type is top hat, no bush.
It's Abraham Lincoln. I shaved.
Hi, I'm Kron. My skills as a leader are bush, puffy nipple.
Let's go into the future together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to be a team player.
As all this is going on, Catherine shows up. Gutman convinces her it's time to go see the cops. They do. They convince the cops to check the place out. They all go over to the mortuary together. Gutman tries to walk them through the operation, but the coffin just like rolls into the fire and stops. And the mortician's like, thanks a lot, dude. It's like $2,000.
I do like this scene. Like the mortician guy is pretty fucking good. Like, what the
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna leave it there? I wish we would have had a little bit more of him.
Mortician's pretty fun.
Yeah.
He's like a good character actor. Seems like, he fits into the Tales from the Crypt vibe pretty well.
He's game to be creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've seen him with that. We know what he's into.
Dead women. Which again, I understand liking puffy nipples more than dead people. In the Bordello, Victor and Catherine are talking. She tells him...
Are you going to get a count on how many times puffy nipple has been said?
I'm sure there's an AI program that will calculate it. You can ask ChatGPT once this episode's out. It'll transcribe in Apple Podcasts, and you can look at the transcription, and you can search within there. So we could type puffy, and it would give you a count.
So you're telling me that we could find out how many times we've said fuck on 5 days
per episode? Yeah.
Holy shit.
The problem is, this is no dig at any particular 5DR member, because we all get a little mush mouth and we do often talk over each other. It is kind of funny, the AI transcription, what does actually pop up. I think Kron is always spelled with a C for some reason.
Fucking
you can check it,
dude.
Yeah, but that's a good, like, if we record an episode and I edit it the next day, and then you post it like a month later, and somebody's like, "Oh, this bit was good," blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck you were talking about. That's usually when I go back and I'll just search one of those keywords, and you can see it is. Sometimes it is just freaking the fuck out to try to make sense of what's coming out of our Midwestern mush.
Idiot mouths.
So, yeah.
ChatGPT's like, not again. Fuck.
Lilith tells Victor that it's time to get rid of the Reverend. His time is over. She says she can put Victor in charge of the entire operation if he just gives her the key. Victor goes to see JC, tells him the operation is running great. These women are killing sinners at an incredible clip. But he was hoping to make some extra money on the side. I don't really know what this is in reference to either, but JC cuts him off, and Victor's like, "Sorry, man, my mistake."
The entire JC arc is odd.
Yeah.
I like that he gets some little redemptive factor to it, but the tone of him is off, because you immediately want to hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the push for him to side with the girl, our old vampire lady. Since JC was like, fuck off.
I think they have a little power. It's like JC, Lilith, and Victor seem to constantly be like trying to play one another for control of this operation.
Yeah, it's ultimately JC's operation. Victor is just his go-between.
Uh-huh.
He's sort of handling the Lilith thing.
Yeah.
That all sort of makes sense. And I kind of like there's a preacher. It's interesting in that JC is at least steadfast in his belief. We're doing the right thing because we're killing sinners.
Mm-hmm.
He never asks anything about making the money from selling the cars.
Yeah.
It's Lilith who brings up, like, we're making money because we're selling the cars of these fucking guys that show up here. So the fact that JC is actually genuine in like his care for Catherine, because you always keep assuming that he's going to be into her and creepy, and it's not. It's just that he's a fucking doofus who's...
Yeah.
And it feels like any other movie, he would be a worse guy. And then it becomes even more pathetic how lame he is with his guitar and like the laser, and like he just, like, I want him to be either more evil or more dumb.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, I mean, if he's willing to work with a vampire to kill people, it's like that is inherently evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the entire rest of his personality is like, I just like playing guitar and like,
I'm trying to save your soul. Yeah.
Yeah. Catherine goes to meet JC. She says she wants to make a documentary about lust, a warning against pornography and dirty magazines. Let's give Vincent enough time to sneak into JC's office and take everything out of the safe. So steals that key back, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
JC follows Vincent to a strip club where he meets Lilith. Lilith says she's in charge now. Both parties demand that Vincent hand over the key. As they're arguing, Catherine, she's not wasted any time because she busts into the same bar they're all at and like starts throwing cameras in everybody's face. JC's kind of like, I can't get picked up in this, and runs out of there.
She bolts in so corny.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way she's holding the mic. Did you ever see that SNL sketch? It was post Katrina, and it was Anderson Cooper like doing like a infield segment about all these celebrities that had come down to help. And that's all it is. It's just like it's just a gallery of impression.
Mm-hmm.
Hader does a really great Al Pacino. There's a Shih Tzu stuck in a tree. I go now to save that dog.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
And then
I don't remember.
Finesse Mitchell plays the mayor, and he's got the great line of like, we don't need Sean Penn and his boat full of guns. I bring all this up. At the end of like the button to this is Daryl Hammond as Geraldo Rivera, and the way he like busts in with his microphone and his camera crew. When Catherine busts into this strip joint, that's what it looked like. It looked like a comedy sketch. It didn't look like,
It's got the light on
it's like,
and shit.
yeah, like the corniness of her playing like, I'm a journalist and documentarian now. Excuse me, sir. Why do you like puffy nipples?
Well, it starts, I guess it started when I was a teenager, Spent the night at my Meemaw's, and my parents had date night. They had us concert tickets, so we stayed there for the weekend, and ate dinner. My bedroom was in the back. I had to pass, Meemaw's room, and I just happened to look to the left, and there they were, that's what my therapist says. That's where she thinks it occurred and it happened. Is this too much? Is this going to be on TV?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like coming here, and there's a really good deal on MGD. $2 Thirsty Tuesdays, and
Let's go, Brandon.
if I don't find what I like, I move over to the stage right, and if I don't like that, I wait till the song's over and see if stage left and my girl's coming up. I got my favorites. What time is it?
It's Miller time, dude.
Well, it's always Miller time, but 8:30, Cherry's coming, and I'll tell you what. Call me the Puff Daddy. Okay.
It's like sad to me that you have to use a fake voice to tell the truth on this podcast.
I think I'm done with this interview.
All right, guys.
Robbie. Yeah, it's almost time.
All right. So Gutman, he eventually takes a picture of like a head in a coffin. And when he gets the photo developed, there's only one person in the coffin. But when he takes the picture, there's a dead guy, there's that biker, and like another head.
From an actual dead person.
Yeah. So he gets that developed. There's only one body in it. They also look at Catherine's footage where she's interviewing Lilith. There's no Lilith in the video. They kind of start piecing together, maybe something's going on here. But just as they're kind of getting cooking on this, they get a call from Caleb.
What?
He says, "Hey, I'm alive. I'm at this old power plant. Get over here and help me."
Of course.
Help. I'm at a generic action movie location.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys ever called and were like, I'm at a power, I'd be like, what has Bones gotten himself into?
I'm fighting the T-1000,
Yeah.
dude.
He's
Trying to save humanity.
He's about to get his ass kicked by.
Hey.
I'd walk in and be like, yeah, no. Good luck, dude.
You just see Bones' hand dipping into fucking lava.
Hey, did I delay Judgment Day? You're welcome.
Eventually, we cut to Catherine and
I
Gutman
can self-terminate.
at the power plant.
Enjoy your fucking puffy nipples.
They find Caleb, but he's all vamped out. Gutman shoots him. I'm trying to think of what else happens here. Eventually, Catherine like swings across to another platform.
He makes it seem like it's the most death-defying thing anybody's ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Oh, shit.
It's what, a 4-foot gap?
It is an
mean,
Errol
it's-
Flynn pirate ship swing. It is nothing.
They probably didn't even need the rope to like.
Yeah.
You could have just got a running start and
Yeah.
made that gap. Let's see. So eventually she gets across. Gutman can't make it. He gets knocked out or something. He wakes up in a hospital. A lady comes and attacks him. He's able to push her in front of a sunny window and she explodes.
This 100% feels like a reshoot or a pickup.
I think
Everything about this.
I think the effect at least was a pickup
Okay.
because they I think that's in that interview, the guy talks about how they might have redone that scene back in, like Tales from the Crypt headquarters or
Okay.
whatever.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg wakes up in a bed and tells Gutman to keep it down.
I hate to say it, but I feel bad for Whoopi Goldberg.
She's in at least one episode of Tales
Yeah.
from the Crypt. So
She's also in Loaded Weapon 1.
Fucking incredible.
Whoopi was getting out there in the 90s.
She's
too.
incredible in Loaded Weapon 1.
She takes the...
Yeah, they find her dead body. Now we think it was a suicide. Oh, looks like she took herself by surprise.
She opens up the 8 doors.
Yep.
Back at the
Wilderness girls.
A little late for y'all to be selling some cookies.
Back at the power plant, the crew has Catherine strapped down. They're going to vamp her. What?
Nothing.
All right. Why don't you two do Loaded Weapon for 20 more minutes?
It's shit.
Run through your favorite lines
I didn't say shit.
of a movie that the listener could just pull up on Tubi and watch themselves.
Yes, that's fine. You're right.
You
You're
know
right.
what I love? I love when he's looking at those magazines and the shit keeps falling out of him. And he walks over and he's just in a fucking pile up to his knees.
I think Samuel L. Jackson holding that gun and freaking out and like wobbling is maybe the finest piece of physical comedy I've ever seen.
We're done.
Yeah.
Go ahead, dude. Tell another Loaded Weapon story.
The caution wet blood. At her murder scene's pretty funny too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it. I'm done. All right. Hit me with the bed of blood or whatever we're talking about.
They got Catherine strapped down. They're going to vamp her.
Catherine. 2 Catherines in a row, guys.
JC shows up on the main floor and demands to see Lilith. Victor has him at gunpoint. He's about to blast him, but Gutman crashes a car through the door. They're in like the main area, the mortuary.
For you.
Gutman shoots Victor and asks JC if he's friend or foe. JC says he's responsible for all this mess, but he wants to make it right. Shows Gutman a jacket full of dynamite. Gutman hands JC a holy water gun. JC says this will work for all of them except for Lilith. We got to cut her heart into 4 pieces.
If this was the script written in 1945 by Zuckerman and Gale,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right after World War II wrapped up.
what was there? It couldn't have been super soakers.
I think they had water pistols.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I think by
I get it, but
Yeah.
when is this, 96? Kids definitely had like water guns by then.
well, yeah, I'm sure they had water guns in the 40s and shit like that.
They
But
had super
but
soaker.
Miller's got a very specific. I mean, that's obviously a super soaker.
Mhm.
And the most unbelievable part of it is how few times he has to pump it because he's getting a few shots off just one pump. And we all know you.
Yeah, you really got
You
it.
were
5 times. Yeah.
That toy just trained a bunch of 11-year-olds.
How to rapidly reload.
The physical motion, like
to start a lawnmower.
Yeah, no. That's the other, you know what I'm talking about. The muscle memory.
Especially when you held it between your legs.
Yeah. Because you'd pump, and they'd say, oh, it'll shoot 50 feet. My ass. It'll pump.
50 feet European.
Then you have to unscrew the fucking canister, right?
Take
and
it
then
out.
Pop it out, fill it up. And then unless you loaded it the other way, you'd still spill some. And then you got all that water in there you got to prime out.
And
Fucking
the
sucked.
hole to screw in was so thin that it would always
turn the tank over and screw the gun.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing tactical about that.
Our army doesn't run off CO2 machine guns, Kron.
Maybe you could turn the, what's it called, soda stream into a water pistol.
Oh, you guys got soda streams?
No. You're the only one with SodaStream.
Not wealthy enough.
Listeners, Bones brought us a gift here in the Lou live in the
The
Lou.
Char, dude.
And he did bring us SodaStream, so now we cannot have a bit for our podcast. He killed one.
I didn't
another
kill
bit.
the bit. Now
Killed
when I
another
ask
bit.
you guys got a soda stream? You say yes. And then we expand on it. Now it's what flavors are you using?
I noticed
What's
we
your-
didn't get any CO2.
There are CO2 canisters in there.
We didn't get the 3 refills that
Okay.
we need to.
Say thank you.
Thank you, Bones. It was a very generous gift.
And don't stop sending the videos, okay? I enjoy them.
I'm going to be making a blackberry mint.
No, I'm taking blackberry.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to drink it tonight in my room. You're not going to have any
At 2 in
juice
the
left.
morning, if I hear a my ass is coming
I'm just
in there.
drinking the juice,
Oh,
the concentrate.
Jesus Christ. I
You're
think
not going to have any.
You said you're taking mango and grapefruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking
Strawberry.
mango, grapefruit, lime,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking strawberry, blackberry, and
cherry.
But yeah, dude. You can make some bomb ass summer cocktails with it too. It'll
Mhm.
help out.
yeah. Who says we can't put alcohol in there?
Well, you can't. I don't think you want to carbonate
You don't-
your alcohol, but you can add the carbonated water, the soda water to your cocktail.
Last time I checked, this was fucking America, and I can
All
do
right,
whatever I
you do
want.
it. You do it.
Okay.
Hey, is there anything else funny in Loaded Weapon you'd like to run through?
You know what? I think there's a fucking clown in Loaded Weapon.
When he goes inside of his beachside trailer and it turns out to be like a giant mansion
Yeah.
with like marble floors and shit. It's pretty fucking funny. The Bruce Willis cameo is great.
Dude, it's
It's fucking solid.
fucking fun.
It's solid.
All right, let's watch it tonight.
Okay. Before
I had it on today.
yeah, we
yesterday.
should do it again.
All right,
Final
eventually they
shootout,
find Catherine. Yeah, they're rolling through. They're shooting all these vamps with water pistols and shit. Eventually they find Catherine. They end up blasting Caleb to death. JC goes to free Kathleen, but it's Lilith in disguise. She stabs JC. Gutman finds the real Catherine and frees her. Catherine and Gutman run over to JC's studio. They're going to broadcast something, but all the electric goes haywire. Lilith finds Gutman, handcuffs him to a rail. Lilith goes and attacks Catherine. She's about to kill her.
The entire fucking time that they are fighting Lilith, because there's like a poor guy in the booth, like in the technical booth.
Yeah.
And Catherine's just standing on this stage. She is so fucking needy and narcissistic. Like, she's so excited to be the person to give this message to the world or broadcast over this fucking boring ass Christian network.
Mm-hmm.
They're battling Lilith to try to get the fucking television signal up and shit. And the repetitive, constant, what is going on up there?
Tell me.
What is going on? Like, fucking bitch, leave the stage and go come help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know where your mark is. You can come back to there once we start rolling. It was annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
I hated it too.
Yeah.
All right, they're about to broadcast. She does handcuff Gutman. She's about to kill Catherine, but Gutman is able with his foot to reach like the Holy Cross laser beam that's hooked up on the stage. Let's see. He shoots it off, but all it really does is just piss Lilith off enough to try to come back and kill Gutman. She's coming after him, but Catherine is able to stab her in the back with a stake, which pushes her heart out into 4 little pieces, very conveniently. Lilith catches fire and dies. We cut back to the mortuary. Catherine and Gutman burn up the rest of Lilith's body. Out in the car, he tries to make a pass at her a little bit. They kind of start kissing. He lifts her skirt a little, and guys, we see 2 little fang marks in there. Whoa. Gutman looks down and sees it. Catherine grows fangs. She bites Gutman. Finally, we cut back over to the Crypt Keeper. He's like, I guess Catherine found out that the fastest way to a man's heart is through his rib cage. Nice little button from the Crypt Keeper.
You think that inspired Eggers to have his Nosferatu suck through the chest?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was just research.
Okay. He's so prolific, dude.
He really gets down in those details.
Yeah. So not only was Lilith a muff diver, she was a muff biter.
She bit the leg. That's not really the muff.
That's part of the... Okay.
That doesn't hold up in court.
Okay,
we don't-
It's not
fair
the
enough.
same thing.
We don't need another 30 minutes on what a muff is, Kron.
I could show you some pictures.
Later.
I have terabytes, dude.
All right, we'll do that
I
later.
am the muffin man. You were on my lane.
You're the muffin man. He's the puffin man.
I'm not the puffin man. I just said I understand.
certainly think
I
the
said I
listener knows
understand
who the puffin man is.
liking nipples more than getting shit on.
So you've done both.
Yeah, I've done nipples.
I think you're up.
I'm up for what? Oh, for fucking research. Damn it, man.
Damn it, dude.
Don't pick it up for me or anything,
I
Kron.
dropped my phone earlier. You didn't pick it up for me.
You got mad at loaded weapon.
You got your weather widget on the bottom?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think I was a top left guy? Are you a top left guy?
I'm a top left.
Yeah.
Top left. Got my steps right there in the middle.
I like a bigger one on my... I got the stocks. All my fucking...
Oh, these stocks, man.
Calendar.
They're up. And what are they doing?
All right, fun for the research.
Just
Gentlemen,
can't make up
Bordello
their
of Blood
mind
was
with these stocks.
released in August 16th of 1996. Had a budget of $13 million. A box office of $5.7 million. I did not do at the theater that month. In the cemetery.
Thanks.
I thought I did. In the cemetery, there's a crypt with the name Gaines on it. William Gaines is the creator of the Tales from the Crypt comic book.
Chris Gaines?
According to Corey Feldman, Dennis Miller was very rude and disrespectful. We kind of talked about that already. The original script from Bob and Robert was developed in development hell for a very long time. The reference came out in the 1981 film directed by Brian De Palma from Blowout. Travolta's character Jack does mention it. We directed a movie, Bordello of Blood, it wasn't made till 15 years later. So that was this script. In the making of the featurette on the Scream Factory release, Erica Ellenark admits there was scenes. Well, there were. Catherine has a backstory of she used to be a porn star, and that's why she's working with JC now, because she was saved after that. But that was cut, I guess.
And it's why Dennis Miller keeps saying, you look very familiar.
Yeah.
Because she also used to be like heavy.
Yeah. I think there's a part.
She pulls a poster
for Fatty O'Toole. And
Chubby
it was like
O'Toole.
Chubby O'Toole. It's like that's who she was going to be.
Well, of course you are.
According to Corey Feldman, it took 4 hours to get his vampire makeup on.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Doesn't sound
Were they
that
taking a
long.
break every fucking 5 minutes?
Yeah, that seemed
It was fucking atrocious.
That's why I put it on there. It's like, that seems like it took a long time. I got to snort a line of coke here. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his look was already pretty stupid. The vampire thing just amped it.
They're like, "Can you shave the 5 o'clock?" And he's like, "No, I'm keeping it."
Yeah, I've already glued this on. All right, 2.7 average user rating. Dan, he gave Kron a 2.5. I gave him a 2.0. Dan, I think you're a 2.0.
Well, I think you're a 5. Bones, I'm doing a 1.5.
Cool.
Bones 1.5. Dan 2.0.
I am, in fact, a 1.5 on this. This is a bad movie. It's not funny. It's not terrifying. It's not remotely interesting. And I think we talked about it. Trim this bad boy down to a half hour. Maybe you've got just a funny little interaction of a PI trying to sneak into a bordello. Mm-hmm. All this added stuff is just bloat. You run into that thing of you either need to cut it down or you need to add 20 minutes and restructure it where it folds in on itself better. Bringing up the Chubby O'Toole reference, it's like you have all these pieces of things that still exist that you cut, but because everything is such a mess, you still have all these like remnants that don't go anywhere. They just are dead ends, and in totality take away from it. Dennis Miller is not a leading man. I don't even think Catherine is a leading lady. I appreciate her wanting to be taken seriously, but I think her and Lilith need to have way more charisma for you to give a shit. That's the biggest sin of the movie. I mean, it's not entertaining. It's not funny. Even the Crypt Keeper stuff, he looks great, but the dialogue is absolute shit. Yeah, just watch Demon Knight twice.
Bordello of Blood, the second attempt at Tales from the Crypt. Emilio Estevez and the Samuel L. Jackson, a dream team you didn't think you needed, but you get it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that.
Some good practicals here. I think there's some entertaining stuff here. I think that's a great set of tits whenever Corey Feldman first opens up that casket. I think you're like, all right, I'm into this. But yeah, good practicals. Just seemed like a fucked up production from the start. I'm surprised they got it to a theater and got it out, honestly. I'm surprised it didn't go directly to HBO. But 2.0 for me. So there's some fun stuff in there, but you're not missing anything if you watched Demon Knight and you're like, oh shit, I need to finish this out. You don't have to. I know some people out there are rating it pretty high, and yeah, I don't know what they're looking at.
Were those nipples like this, or were they like this?
They were more like straight on, so they were your other one.
Okay, like that.
Yeah, they were kind of a little puffed, a little. we go back to that scene,
Ooh.
maybe.
Somebody's
Kron can
into the
explain
buff.
that to us. But yeah, 2.0 for me, Kron.
All right, guys. Bordello of Blood. It's clearly no Loaded Weapon 1.
Damn right it's not.
Is there a Loaded Weapon 2?
Yes.
Whoa. Well, we should have just watched, maybe next box set.
We won't be able to do it justice.
Is there a Loaded Weapon 2?
I thought there was. Right?
No.
There isn't?
No, that's the joke of Loaded Weapon 1.
Dan just said yes.
I thought there was.
I don't think there is.
Do your review.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I take time to do Loaded Weapon stuff, it's a problem on the podcast?
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. There is no Loaded Weapon 2. Bordello of Blood is not that great. I do honestly think there's probably the bones of a decent movie here. I think there's the bones of a really good episode of Tales from the Crypt here. But we didn't get either one of those things. We got Bordello of Blood for an hour and a half. It's not a great movie. And as I was rewatching for this, the acting is not great, but even more so than that, I feel like the structure of the movie is just kind of go to the bordello, do another thing, go back to the bordello, do another thing, go back to the bordello. Like, it just kind of cycles through the same 3 steps over and over. So yeah, no part of this really works. And I feel like it's one of those productions that probably got away from the director pretty egregiously. The fact that it was his only time directing, he's not coming in with a lot of I know how to throw my weight around. I know how to get what I want. So he probably got bullied a little bit by Silver. And yeah, it's just the wrong acting choices, taking money away from the production that could have gone into effects and stuff to pay Dennis Miller was a huge mistake. Having so many actors that weren't really trained in movies or acting. But I don't know, man. It's still got some juice for me as a Tales from the Crypt property. I don't hate this movie. I think it's a mixed bag, but it's not completely terrible. There's a few good jokes. There's a few good gags. There are some good practical effects. I'm a 2.5 on Bordello of Blood.
Wow.
If we were giving numeric grades, it's still an F, but I think it's rewatchable, not numeric, alphabetic. What am I saying?
You're all right, man.
It still averages to a 50%, that's a failing score, but, there is some stuff in there, 2.5.
Well, that's a 2.0 average.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll compile all the big list
we'll do
stuff
that later.
when
Who cares?
we're in the Char, baby.
It's time to watch Loaded Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Throw back some soda waters.
Yeah.
It's time for lunch, guys.
Yeah. Well.
Join us next week. We'll still be in the Char. Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.